it's gonna take some time to realign. But if you look inside, I'm sure you'll find. Over your shoulder, you know that I told you I'll always be picking you up when you're down. Just turn around. Name that tune. Name that tune, podsters. What are we calling our podcast listeners? We never picked a name.
Girly pops. That's too basic.
Well, I feel like it could be like a spin-off of Girly Pops.
Yeah.
We should start a band.
Well, yeah, we should. We're fucking good.
Fucking amazing singers.
We're so talented.
Lyrical geniuses.
Literally. The harmonies.
Yeah, the harmonies and melodies.
You know?
Are you an alto or a soprano?
I have no idea. I think I'll go with an alto.
Did you were never in any choir?
I was, but I don't remember.
Did they assign you to oh, okay.
I don't remember. I was in all-county chorus.
Well, you should remember. I remember that I was an alto specifically, and I was kind of annoyed. Although it's like accurate, I'm an alto. It's annoying because you don't get to sing the chorus. You're the one in the background like, oh.
Actually, I think that is me.
I was like so pissed. I'm like, I want to be a soprano. I want to sing like the actual lyrics.
I'm definitely an alto then. I never got to
We're
sing
in the
it.
background like, oh.
You know. Whatever. Our altos will shine one day.
Yeah, I mean, a low voice is pretty. We like a low voice.
There's some. Who are some famous altos?
Google it. Famous female altos of history.
We got Tracy Chapman right off the bat.
Mm-hmm.
Boom. We got Annie Lennox, Nora Jones.
There we go.
Patsy Cline.
Okay.
Gladys Knight, Anita Baker.
Wow.
You know, we're not alone here.
That could be us.
We could be stars.
Someday.
We could be stars.
Someday.
We will.
You guys just wait. Well, so the reason why we sang that song today is in honor of Drake Bell.
Mm-hmm. We both have seen the show.
And if you haven't, I mean,
you should watch it. Because it's really eye-opening and pretty disturbing, but I think everyone should know what's been going on at Nickelodeon.
Yeah, because I came into it low-key hating on Drake Bell because I was like,
well, he got in trouble.
We heard the allegations again. Yeah, and I was like,
If y'all don't know, Drake Bell got in trouble for texting an underage girl, but it wasn't even that crazy. And he also got, he did time. He did his time. I mean, it was just probation, but community service and probation. But
it wasn't even inappropriate. Well, actually, I don't know.
I don't know the details, but
he wasn't like sending her nudes or anything like that. I think it was just like some like text.
Yeah, and he said that he didn't know she was underage. So who knows?
That's what they all say, but
that's not anything compared to what happened to him.
Yes.
So I feel bad for the man, and I'm glad he's coming forward with his story because these bitches need to be exposed.
They do. And I can't believe that no conspiracy theorist out there put it together.
I know, that is
because everybody, this like the lawsuit was out.
It was
open to the public,
and
so everybody knew it was everybody knew that somebody.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Well, guys, spoilers. Like, skip the next whatever this segment is if you want to watch the documentary. But
spoilers, it was Drake Bell.
But yeah,
which I think everyone knows by now.
Yeah, but the allegations just said somebody.
Right.
But how did nobody within Nickelodeon, I'm sure they did. Because people saw him dropping them off.
Yeah.
Or him dropping them off. I'm sure, you know, people knew that they were spending, he was spending the night at his house. I'm sure people knew that, right?
Mm-hmm. I mean, it sucks because his mom let it happen even after his dad told her not to.
His dad clocked it,
Yeah, his dad was a good dad. He was really trying to keep him safe. And then his mom, was just clueless and let him spend the night at a grown man's house.
Yeah, and it took his girlfriend's mom found out about it before he did, before she did.
Yeah, because she put 2 and 2 together, and I guess she wasn't as brainwashed, but also I don't think my mom would get brainwashed when it comes to that kind of thing.
Yeah.
She would be like, no.
But there's a lot of famous
moms, like Jeanette McCurdy's mom, that like, and
I
Drew
guess
Barrymore's
you're
mom,
right.
that just like
They just
are
want their
sucked
kid
into
to
the
be,
fame.
Yeah, they just want them to be famous, and they'll
so
kind of ignore the stuff going on. But that's fucked up.
But I think it's because of like the way they've been treated. Well, we're talking about feminism. It's the way they've been treated as society, like growing up too. They just like assume that this is the norm, and it's like you got to deal with it too. Like,
yeah.
But it's not an excuse. Like you got to protect your children.
Yeah, she did not. But it's a really heavy documentary, and I heard that there is another episode coming out in April.
Huh? I wonder what it's going to be about.
I don't know.
Yeah, I mean, I was saying that
Amanda Bynes needs to say something.
I mean, I've seen her actually recently kind of pop up on TikToks.
Oh, she's been all over my TikTok.
Yeah, but like...
She's like, hey guys, I've decided to start wearing wigs.
I can't tell if she's trolling or like what.
I know.
I can't tell if she's like...
It's so hard to tell. I mean, her eyebrows tell me she's not.
Well, that makes me feel like she is trolling. Because like, well, I've also heard the theory that she's trying really hard to not appeal to the male gaze.
Yeah, I've heard this too because of what happened to her when she was younger.
Yeah, but I don't know.
I can't tell.
But she's like trying to start like a nail salon or something like that, I think.
Yeah, and the thing is she was such a smart, like...
Yeah, and her personality seems to have totally changed.
Yeah, like she was very smart and very funny. So it wouldn't surprise me if this whole thing was just a bit.
Yeah.
She was trolling.
Or maybe she has borderline personality disorder.
Yeah, she could. Yeah, I don't know. It's really sad because she just watching that documentary and seeing her as like, how old was she? Like 12 or whatever. Mm-hmm. She was a star.
Yeah,
she was so bright.
I'm glad they didn't really show recent pictures of her. I think they did her justice. Like I feel like they could have like turned it into a spectacle of like, oh, but look at her now.
Yeah, they didn't
and
do
I'm
that.
Glad they didn't. It was like I think the documentary was done well.
Yeah,
it was very respectfully done.
Me too. I agree.
I was also really surprised by the two women that were writers that had to share the salary. Mm-hmm. Like what the fuck?
And the way he said that he like bent her over the desk and was like, ugh, that's so gross.
Well, yeah, I'm gonna not say any names, but I had a friend that lived in LA and worked in the industry, and she had like big executives like slapping her ass when she was in her early 20s too. She was like 23, and yeah, definitely
so
like took
like
advantage of her, and she was getting paid like shit, like, and she did so much for them, like,
yeah, that's fucked up.
Yeah, so it's like even in modern times it's happening. It's not just like the 90s or the 60s or whatever.
Yeah, it's still going on.
And this is why we have feminism, guys.
Yeah. Stop touching our asses.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So we also had a pretty eventful weekend.
Yes, we did. We sure did.
We had 2 birthdays, but yours was one of them.
Yes. I had a little birthday brunch on Sunday, and it was a really cute little place.
It was so fun. I loved that place.
I know, I did too. And they keep like emailing me like, thank you so much for coming. And the owner, I'm sure like people who spend a certain amount of money maybe get this like email from the owner. But he was like, hey, I hope everything went great. And I hope everything was, blah, blah, blah. And you have my email now. You can always email me whenever you need anything.
Should we do an event there?
Ooh, that might be cool. But I don't know. It's probably just a mass email that gets sent out automatically.
Well, I don't know, because we spent like $600 there.
Yeah, we did. Yeah, we sure did.
Yeah, I thought it was so cute. And they really like hooked us up with the desserts.
Yeah. Well, first they gave me a glass of Prosecco when I first walked in because it was my birthday. And they ask if you're celebrating something, like on the reservation.
But what if did they ask you if you drink?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. She was like, do you drink? And I was like, yeah. She's like, do you want a free glass of Prosecco? And I was like, yeah.
I might do my birthday there.
Yeah.
It's like a good
fucking
spot for your birthday.
And then they also... Yeah, they brought out like 3 desserts for us to all share.
Yeah, and the food was pretty bomb.
It was good.
Like, I feel like it was it's one of those places that's tapas style. So it's one of those places where they give you the spiel at the beginning, like, all of our stuff is shareable. So we recommend you get 2 to 3 dishes each person.
Yeah, but they're big.
Yeah, I was expecting it to be tiny because a lot of the places that say that, it's like tiny little dishes, but
But you could have just gotten one for one person and been fine.
Yeah. Well, maybe like 1.5.
Yeah, like most of them.
Yeah.
could have
Yeah.
been. But yeah.
Yeah, it was good. And then we did a $30 all you can drink special.
Which is cool. For 90 minutes, you get to just get a pitcher of Bellini.
And we were definitely there for more than 90 minutes.
Yeah, we were. And they brought us a free bottle of sangria.
Did they just open or something? Like, why did they hook us up so much?
No,
they really gave us the hookup.
I walked past that place all the time, and I don't know if they just like, I think they knew that the service wasn't great that day, because remember, we were kind of waiting for a while on stuff, and like we couldn't order drinks fast enough. Like we were kind of like, okay, where is she? But then she brought the sangria, and we were like, that's fine. I
didn't really think the service was bad, but maybe I was kind of distracted by everybody.
Yeah, well, we were just like, I thought you said something like, we want to get our money's worth. Like, where is she?
Oh, I might have said something like that.
But
well, I remember the beginning being like, I'm hungry.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, but it was cool. It was really cute. And then I went home and cleaned up dog poop off my bathroom floor, dog diarrhea.
At least you didn't go on the carpet.
And by me, I mean Kristen cleaned it up for me.
Oh, that's really nice.
I know.
I can't believe she did that.
She just started cleaning it. And
Wow.
I was like, oh, okay, thank you.
Before her flight and everything.
Yeah. Yep. She cleaned up that doo-doo.
But yeah, I would love to go to that place again. And I got a lot of content for bursting egg yolk.
I have to say something, that Alfredo was sick. He doesn't just poo-poo in the bathroom or inside.
Oh, yeah, we should.
He's a good boy.
He's a good boy.
He's a good boy.
Except when he's sick.
He was butt sick, and we knew that he'd probably poop in the house because we were out there for like 2-3 hours, and he was going every 2 hours. I knew
something was going to happen.
I just have to save his name. He's not a bad boy. He's a good boy. Okay.
He's listening to this.
Fredo, you're a good boy.
he's like, what?
You did nothing wrong, baby. You're my sweet angel.
Well, how is he doing now?
He's
totally
pooping
fine?
solid.
Okay.
Yeah, he's good.
When did the runs go away?
He had one more case of the runs after the bathroom incident.
I think he just gets...
And then he was fine after that.
I think he just gets anxiety.
I think so, too.
I think that's what it is. Like, because Kristen was... And it's not because of her, but, like, any kind of change, you know? I feel like...
Yeah, it kind of, like, disrupts his vibes.
But he didn't do that when I was staying with him.
Well... I don't know what's wrong with that guy.
Yeah, he picks and chooses when he is anxious.
Yeah. Well, we've been shooting the shit. Let's get into it.
Okay, but it was also our other friend's birthday. I feel like we should mention.
Oh, sorry.
Yeah, it was our other friend's birthday. And she had a nice, like, coquette themed. Well, it was like
Pride and Prejudice
themed, and I thought that was really fun because a lot of old friends that I haven't seen in a while were there.
Yeah.
So it was real cute, and we got to meet people from her polycule. It was just good to see a lot of, like, old friends, and
it was really fun.
So yeah, it's gonna take some time to realign, but if you look inside, I'm sure you'll find over your shoulder. You know that I told you. I'll always be picking you up when you're down.
Mm-hmm.
So just turn around.
I want to say that we definitely thought it's going to take some time to realize. Ever since I think
everybody
young,
thought that.
Everyone thinks that. It's not. It's realign. Public service announcement.
I actually saw this cringy video, like, since Drake Bell has been trending, of him performing this song, and he, like, stops his fans, and he's like, guys, if you're gonna sing along, sing it right.
Nuh-uh.
And he's like, it's real line,
okay.
not real lies.
Really?
Yes.
Oh my God.
And he's like, think about it. Realize wouldn't rhyme.
That
he's
is
like
so,
trying to be all
like,
smart about it.
I love that. I love that. That's like cunty.
Yeah, it's annoying though because it actually doesn't rhyme technically. Time and real line.
Yeah, it doesn't. But
it still doesn't rhyme.
Yeah, but
he's like trying to
he's probably just tired of it.
Them.
He's like, oh my God, it's not
real life. It's real line. But I feel like it doesn't change the meaning that much. Like,
no.
Yeah,
it doesn't. It's just a bunch of babble.
A bunch of pish posh.
Bunch of pish posh.
So,
what are we talking about
Allie,
today?
Yeah, what are we talking about? I'm Kirsten.
I'm Allie.
And you're listening to
Thank you so much.
Thank Thank you so much for
Reproductive rights. Or lack thereof.
This ain't Texas.
It ain't gonna hold them.
Well, Texas is a very big name in the reproduction
It
rights.
sure is. This ain't Texas. Thank fucking
This
God.
ain't Texas.
Thank fucking God.
But like
No,
they keep coming back, like trying to make new laws, trying
Texas
to
needs to
do
just-
something else.
they need to secede. Like
Yeah.
I'm over
They
them.
need to
I'm
go
tired
away.
of them. I just secede.
Austin
Everyone
can stay. Austin can stay.
just be a little district of America, and then the rest of it can go. No offense to everyone who lives there.
Yeah, I have some friends in Texas,
Me
but
too.
it's like we know it's not you guys.
It's not you guys. It's your fucking politicians, and they need to just go.
It's like the rapist Brett Kavanaugh, who's like
who
he's like in the Senate or something. Yeah.
he's the one who fucking had a part in this Roe v. Wade overturn.
Yep. I don't like
Anyway,
him. I don't like
neither.
him one bit.
I hate him, actually. In fact, I dislike him.
If
with
he
a
died,
fiery-
I wouldn't be sad. In fact, I would be happy.
I might just go have a drink
yeah.
if he died.
Mm-hmm. I would pour
And I
one
don't
out for.
feel that way about a lot of people.
Yeah, me neither.
Like, I don't want people to die.
Yeah. Well, I'm taking it back a little bit because I don't want to be like, I'm not like wishing death upon him.
Right. But if
But
he happened to
To
die,
die. Yeah.
no one here is going to be sad.
Yeah.
And I don't care if Trump dies.
Same.
And that's all I have right now.
Yeah, those are the main ones.
Those are the main ones. But,
Ron DeSantis can
he can fucking die.
kick rocks. Yeah.
I mean, we don't wish death, but
No, we're not saying you should die. We're just
No.
saying if you died.
if you happen to die, we are not going to lose sleep at night at all. In fact, we might go have a celebratory drink
Mm-hmm. We might pour one out in our mouths.
for the homies who we fucking hate.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Right down our mouth hole instead of into the universe
Exactly.
for the fallen homies.
Yeah, but this is like tribute. So reproduction rights.
Anyway, fuck. We're fucking
We're stupid.
fucking stupid.
Oh, stupid.
Anyway, so reproductive rights. We really do want to say thank you so much for reproductive rights. But-
Yeah, thank you so much for it. I think it's done a lot for us. Kept the babies out of our stomachs. But here's the thing: is we need a male birth control pill.
Yeah, we do.
Like it's about time.
Yeah, they really need to like pull their weight when it comes to that shit.
They are testing for it. There's a lot of trials right now.
Well, there's that like shot that goes into the testes.
Oh, I don't know about that.
Oh, so there's a shot that you can inject.
Is it still in trial or is it? Oh,
It's still in trial, but I think it's like almost ready. But it's a shot that you can shoot into the testes, and it pretty much like I think it causes you to like shoot blanks,
okay.
like your sperm goes away, and then it lasts for 10 years. And if you
Whoa.
want to reverse it, all they have to do is give you another shot in the testes, and then it goes away.
What? That is so much easier than the pill. Or
But
like anything.
these men are like, oh my God, I could never get a shot in my testes.
And we're like, yeah, we'll try like
Everything else that we
a
do.
period.
Just a period. Try that.
Yeah.
And it probably wouldn't even hurt. Like, it's probably just a tiny, tiny little needle.
I mean, it would probably hurt, but it's like it lasts like 2 seconds,
Right. And then it lasts
you
for
have 10 years of no
years.
kids. Yeah,
I know.
Yeah,
So that's a thing. And yeah, it's reversible. Like, if they choose they don't want it, they can just reverse it. And then they have their little spermies back.
yeah, just like vasectomies.
Yeah. But,
But I mean, that it's not the same thing, but it's
Right.
reversible like a vasectomy.
most of the time, yeah, it's reversible.
So this topic is highly debated throughout history,
Mm-hmm.
and I don't know if you remember, like English class. I feel like every high school English class has the option to write about this abortion laws.
Mm-hmm. I don't
Oh,
think I
really?
did.
We did. I mean, it was like a list of like debatable topics, and it was one of the things that people could write about.
Mm-hmm.
But, we're always talking about it. But you learned something about how abortion first started.
Well, we don't know when it actually first started, but we have documentation that it is definitely way older than the United States government because, so I guess back in the day, the archaic term for like the fetal movement, like when it starts to move inside of you, happens after 4 months of pregnancy. They called that quickening.
Oh, I have that too.
Oh.
Yeah.
Well, they called it quickening. So there's a lot of medical literature and newspapers in the late 1700s that regularly referred to like herbs and medication as abortion-inducing methods. So outlawing abortion actually only became common among U.S. politicians in the late 1800s.
Late 1800s? Because in 1821, that's when the first first U.S. law banning medicinal abortion.
Oh, okay. Well,
came
maybe
out.
it just took a while to get everywhere.
Yeah. That makes sense. And that specific one was the Connecticut General Assembly. And it was banning a medical abortion after the quickening.
Yeah, after
stage.
the quickening.
Which, like you said, is when fetal movement is detected around the 4th or 5th month. But this was crazy. Punishment was a life sentence for the provider of the poison.
Yeah.
So the doctor, yeah.
Yeah.
Or
And
whoever.
it sucks too because when that happened, women didn't just stop trying to abort their babies. They did other methods that were really dangerous and led to complications and forced women into the hospital.
So we look at the history and then we're doing it again. For what?
Yeah, and then once they went into the hospital, they could be reported to the police. Like if the hospital knew that they were trying to give themselves an abortion, they could report them to the police.
That's crazy.
Yeah. So yeah, this is back in the 1800s and we're still talking about the same shit.
Yeah.
Like that's,
it's like we still want to control what women do with their bodies. We still are trying to do that. Like,
and like
2 centuries later.
Yeah, and I feel like even though, the newspapers and the medical literatures from the 1700s, it probably goes back way, way earlier than that. Think about like all the herbs and stuff that the early people like used to use and know what they did and stuff.
To be honest, we should really research that now.
Yeah,
so that people in Texas, little girls in Texas who get pregnant can know what to do.
Right, like here's some old-timey herbs.
Yeah,
just
girl,
take a drink.
take this wormwood or whatever.
Take this special tea. Yeah, so we're still talking about it. And I don't know, if it was outlawed back then when the world was shit for a lot of people if you weren't a straight white man, why haven't we grown from that?
It's because the straight white man is still in power.
Yeah, and they're still trying to fucking control us, even though Brett Kavanaugh, I'm sure, has paid for an abortion or 2 in his life.
I'm sure he has.
I'm sure he
Absolutely he has.
Anyway.
Or he didn't pay, which is more likely, and denied that he was the one that did it.
True. He probably was such an asshole. He was like, no.
So in October 16th, 1916, Margaret Sanger, which is a very important name when we're talking about reproduction rights, she opens the country's first birth control clinic.
Love her.
In Brooklyn, New York.
Nice.
And then 9 days later it gets shut down and she gets arrested, and her sister, who's a nurse.
And this is just birth control?
Literally just birth control. Yeah.
Wow.
So her and her sister, who's a nurse, gets arrested. They do 30 days of prison. And then after that, she launches Birth Control Clinical Research Bureau in New York and the American Birth Control League, which later, both of them became Planned Parenthood.
Oh, hell yeah. Margaret.
Hell yeah, Margaret Sanger.
Sanger.
So yeah, she was one of 11 children, and she blamed her mother's death on the toll of those pregnancies. And she strongly believed that the ability to control family size was crucial in ending the cycle of women's poverty, which is
That's very true. Yeah.
Lots of
the
women
more babies you
are
have
in poverty because they are stuck with the consequences of the children. And yeah. So Margaret Sanger is like basically the first name when it comes to Planned Parenthood. And Planned Parenthood, I didn't realize like how involved they are.
Oh yeah.
Like I think of Planned Parenthood as just, the clinic you go to. But they are like,
they do shit
throughout
like,
history. They're
advocating
And there's so many
money.
famous lawsuits that's like Planned Parenthood versus da-da-da.
Mm-hmm.
So
I just gotta say, Planned Parenthood is amazing.
it's a life changer.
It is a life changer because I remember when I didn't have insurance and I went to Planned Parenthood and I just needed a pap smear. And it was the most easy, quick, like thing that happened. It was free and my doctor was amazing. Like I had such a good experience at Planned Parenthood when I went.
If I become rich, Planned Parenthood, maybe they get it. Well, I'll give to different charities, but I feel like Planned Parenthood needs it.
I still give to the clinic in West Virginia.
Oh, nice.
Because I used to
donate.
I used to escort when I moved back there for this past like 10.
I didn't know
the 10
you
months
never
that I
told me
lived
that.
there. I didn't.
You escorted?
Yeah.
You didn't tell me that.
Like escorted the patients.
Oh
my
like
God.
you were an escort. I was like, what? This
Girl.
is a huge part.
Oh
I
my
don't know.
God.
Hey, you know what? Sex
No.
work is work. Like
Wait.
I'm not judging, but
Okay,
I
well,
just didn't know that about you.
Let me clarify. I worked at the West Virginia Women's Health Center, which, by the way, is the only women's health center in the whole state that offers abortion care.
But is that not Planned Parenthood?
No, it's not technically Planned Parenthood. It's something separate. But I escorted patients from the parking lot to the front door because there's always protesters out there.
Is that like a volunteer program?
Yeah.
Okay.
And we would have these like big rainbow umbrellas that we'd like block the patients from the protesters with and walk them to the door because these protesters would like videotape these women. And you could go to the clinic just to get birth control pills or just to get a pap smear.
Not everybody there is for an abortion.
Yeah,
a lot of people are there just literally for like maintenance of their body.
Right.
Like,
and they would like yell these crazy things like, don't kill your baby.
Oh my God.
Like they even told this little kid walking with his mom, your mom's going to kill your little brother or sister today.
Jesus Christ.
Yeah. So we were protecting them from those stupid people.
Yeah.
But it really like, I love doing that. And I tried to do it when I moved back here, but right when I left, Roe v. Wade got overturned.
Yeah. And then we went to the march.
Yeah.
Yeah. Which that was crazy. We went to a protest.
Yeah.
But that was like right when it was right when I got back. And yeah.
So anyway,
that was like, I don't know. I feel like, but living in LA, it feels like everybody agrees. At least it felt like that where we were. But I'm not, it's not like that.
It's not like that. I mean, even in Hawthorne at the Planned Parenthood, there's always protesters over there. And yeah, it's not, everyone doesn't feel the same, even if we're in California. But I mean, it's whatever.
I like that program though, escorting.
Yeah,
I never would have thought about that, but especially like for the young girls that are like impressionable to change their mind.
And it was like so fulfilling because there would be girls who would be like, I'm so happy you guys are here. Like, I don't think I could have gone inside without you.
Aw,
I know.
sweet.
And I'm like, I like cried all the time at that thing. But it was sweet. But I still give money to them because like now in West Virginia, it's outlawed completely.
Oh, really?
Mm-hmm.
So back to the timeline.
Yeah, we kind of got off topic.
No, but this is, it relates to Margaret Sanger and Planned Parenthood.
Mm-hmm.
And then in 1960, the pill gets FDA approval. And what is now known as, quote unquote, the pill is Enovid. That's the name of the contraceptive. It was the first oral contraceptive. And then the IUD gets approval in 1968. So it's like the 60s.
I didn't know it was that old.
I didn't either.
It
So it's like
seems
the
a new
60s
thing.
when the pill and the IUD came onto the market. And those are still the two biggest things that people use.
Yeah.
Which is kind of crazy, too, if you think about it. It's like we haven't gotten like newer
new stuff since the 60s.
Like,
that's kind of sad.
Yeah.
But, we do have some, I guess. We have the shot, the depot shot.
But everybody complains about that.
That's true. And we have the implant that I have in my arm.
Oh, yeah, that's true.
I love it.
Yeah.
It's the best thing ever.
Yeah, I haven't heard any
I don't know
bad
when that
things
came
about that
out.
one.
Yeah, well, yeah, I have nothing bad to say about it. I love it. But yeah, we're just now trialing these male birth controls and it's so many years later.
And it's taken forever.
Dude. Okay, so I didn't know that was that old.
Yeah, and then if we're talking about the 60s, there's like a couple other things. It's like 60s and 70s. There's a lot that happens with like reproduction rights.
Yeah.
So in 66, there was a case called the San Francisco 9, where 9 San Francisco doctors are sued by the California Medical Examiners Board for performing abortions.
Ooh.
And then this is kind of like what leads up to Roe versus Wade.
Mm-hmm.
Then in 1970, 4 states legalize abortion.
Okay.
So we have Alaska, Hawaii, New York, and Washington. I would have thought California would be in there, but it's not.
Yeah.
And they all have like their own kind of like restrictions.
Mm-hmm.
And then 1973 is when the landmark case, Roe versus Wade,
Mm-hmm.
the Supreme Court rules 7-2, the woman's right to an abortion is
I
protected.
thought it was interesting because the name on it, Roe, it was Jane Roe, but that's not her real name. They just used it to protect her identity.
Oh, it's like Jane Doe.
Mm-hmm. So Jane Roe, and it was against Henry Wade, which was the district attorney of Dallas County, Texas.
I know, Texas like keeps coming in with the abortion
It's because
shit.
Texas
This ain't Texas.
This ain't Texas. Thank God. So, yeah, Texas law made abortion illegal except by a doctor's orders to save a woman's life. But she was saying, you know, this Jane Roe said that it was unconstitutional because it abridged her right of personal privacy protected by the 1st, 4th, 5th, 9th, and 14th Amendment.
Got him.
So they were just saying that the 14th Amendment protects against any action. The right to privacy and a woman's right to choose to have an abortion falls within that right to privacy because it's health care, and they you should have a private decision about your own body when it comes to health care, and not letting women do that violates that right.
True that. And she won. Yeah, and so I feel like things were pretty smooth sailing. Like we still don't get all our rights, but I think things like quiet down after that in the timeline of like major things that are happening.
Mm-hmm.
In the 90s, 1998, the morning after pill gets approved. And
Plan
its name at the time, I don't know if it is now, it was Previn.
Mm.
But
don't
then
think it is
in 2000, and then we have Plan B, what's known as the prescription-only Plan B in 1999.
Mm.
And then in 2006, Plan B is approved for over-the-counter
Nice.
if you're 18 or older.
Mm-hmm.
So, like, a lot of this stuff happened before we would be affected. Like, I feel like we're kind of lucky because, like, 2006, we had Plan B.
Yeah.
And that's, like, when we're starting to become sexually active. And, like, I think we were in, like, a kind of sweet spot, actually.
Yeah, we kind of
for,
were.
like, reproduction rights for women. Because, like, this is before the shit happened to overturn stuff.
Mm-hmm.
And, you know, Planned Parenthood had money and we got, I don't know. I went like a few times when I was really young, like I went as a teen and in my 20s and, you know, I was like very helpful resource.
Oh, yeah. I was like, this is amazing. Like whenever I went, I was like, this is awesome.
Yeah. So we were kind of in a sweet spot there.
Mm-hmm.
And then September 1st, 2021. So this is kind of the precursors to overturning Roe versus Wade.
Mm-hmm.
Texas, again, comes in the picture.
Texas, can you just stop?
They need
Can you
to
just
pipe
fucking
down.
leave? Can you just quiet the fuck down?
They need to really grow smaller.
Can you just leave the U.S.? I don't know. I'm over Texas.
Can we cut them out?
I'm over them.
Cut them out.
Fuck Texas, dude. Not the people live there. It's not your fault. Fuck your politics.
Some of you, it is your fault.
Some of you,
Some of you do better.
you all live there for a reason.
Yeah.
But some of you don't.
Some of you, you're fine.
You're
but
fine.
It's just your state sucks.
Yeah.
September 1st, 2021, we have SB 8, a law that's also known as the Texas Heartbeat Act.
Oh, I remember that.
Yeah, I remember it too. And so that banned abortions after 6 weeks.
Yeah, which
is when
crazy.
the heartbeat can be detected.
But can we just say that like 6 weeks is sometimes when people find out they're pregnant?
That's so early.
So early.
Because like a lot of people can be 2 weeks late from their from their period and not even because people have irregular periods all the time.
Yeah, if you have an
It's so
irregular
normal.
period, like you're not gonna. I think about me. I don't even get a period. How would I know if I'm pregnant?
That's also crazy to me that like just that you can detect the heartbeat after 6 weeks? That's kind of crazy to me. I didn't realize it was that early, but like,
yeah, I heard it's just like a cell that's pumping blood. Like it's not even like a heart.
It's not a heart,
but
it's
just
not
like
an organ that has formed.
right. It's just like,
yeah. Well, then you can interpret that in a different way too. It's like, it's not, but yeah. So this act in Texas gave no exceptions for rape or incest, and
which is just evil to me.
yeah, I know, it's fucked up.
Like,
honestly, it's like you want that to, I don't know.
I don't think that people are like evil for not wanting us to kill babies. I don't think they're
like,
evil
I get
for
your
that.
reasoning of that.
I understand, I guess. Like, but you're looking at it from the wrong perspective. Like, we're looking at it from a medical perspective and just the freedom to privacy and like the freedom to do what you want with your own body. But when you put rules on it, like, oh, actually, in any case, if a 12-year-old gets raped, she can't get an abortion, like, you're evil.
That's crazy.
You're evil.
It's like that cell's life is more important than this like 12-year-old cognizant being's life that could be either full of trauma or could be like somewhat relieved a little bit.
A 12-year-old
like,
should not have to have a baby by force. Like, they just shouldn't. And they should have a choice anyway. I mean, maybe they're 12 and they're like, yeah, I'll have this baby, whatever. But the point is, they shouldn't have to. So if you're not going to make exceptions for that, I think abortion should be legal for any reason. Like, literally any reason. But I understand... But I understand, like, the people against it.
Yeah. I mean, I get the idea that it's a human life, and there's an argument for like what stage the fetus is a human life, or the cell is a, like, there's a lot of different arguments for like, and that's all your own philosophy, I think.
Yeah.
But like,
if you're not making exceptions for that stuff, like, you just hate women.
Evil.
You hate women.
Yeah.
You hate children. Like, you.
And I think it goes back to what we were saying about intersectionality a little bit, like being able to step outside of your own bubble and like your own worldview and think about like literally what is it like for that 12-year-old or just like anybody, like any young mother,
anyone who
is like forced to have a baby now, changing the entire trajectory of her life.
Yeah.
Because of like one mistake or like one assault or, you know, like.
To me, it sounds like it's more about controlling women, punishing quote unquote sluts.
Yeah. Punishing
women who enjoy sex. Like, it's just punishing women, like, period.
Yeah.
So I don't know, that to me, that all those little laws, like without the exceptions, I personally think there should be no exceptions. But if you're going to make a fucking law about that and you don't include the exceptions, you're evil.
It's so evil.
You're working for the devil.
Yeah. If you're trying to be about like human life.
Yeah. Why are you forcing this 12-year-old
That's
to
a
give
human
up her life?
That's a human life that you're basically
putting her through trauma that she does not need to go through.
Yeah.
Like, it's just fucking evil. Like, I don't know how else to say it.
People are crazy. Then we have the beautiful moment of June 24th, 2022, where basically Roe versus Wade gets overturned.
Yeah.
And it's up to the states to decide what they want to do.
Yeah, it's actually a case, Dobbs versus Jackson Women's Health Organization.
And
so
this is
fuck
Mississippi.
Dobbs.
Yeah.
Fuck Dobbs. And, you know, their argument, like the Brett Kavanaughs and whoever, like, wanted to overturn this, they were saying, like, it must be overruled because it's just wrong and it's so damaging, and they abused the judicial authority back then.
Okay, so you're literally just butthurt.
Yeah.
That's what it sounds like.
Yeah.
It sounds like somebody didn't listen to what you had to say once in your life.
Yep.
But anyway, it leaves the abortion laws up to the state, and it surrounded a Mississippi abortion ban at 15 weeks. I mean, that was just crazy because it's like 50 years later.
I
We're going back.
I could not believe
Like
it.
literally almost 50 years later, we're like, nope, never mind.
The bottom line is women should be able to do whatever the fuck they want to do with their own body. And if men got pregnant, there would be a law.
Yes, there would be a law against
there'd be a law
like
saying
to protect them.
Yeah. Yes. Like
there would absolutely 100%. Yeah.
So don't give me this bullshit about saving a baby's life. Like you just hate women. Like you want to punish women.
Why don't we save like the mother's life who's already living? Like,
literally, like that's a life, and that's actually a life that's here and doing things and being a part of society.
Yes.
Like what the fuck?
Ugh.
Ugh, makes me mad.
It's really fucking annoying. But one good thing happens. We now have a birth control pill that is approved for over the counter. I mean, because you used to always have to have a prescription for birth control pills.
Oh.
And so now...
I didn't know there was an over-the-counter birth control pill.
Yeah, now there is one. So it's like another option, like a condom that you can get over the counter. But I don't know. I haven't... Like, I guess I just haven't had to buy a birth control pill in a while, so I don't really know. This is as of July 2023.
Okay.
So I don't know if... But I am assuming you can just go to your local CVS and...
Probably just
get
ask
you
them.
one.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Get you one. Get you
or
a
get
birth
you
control
some.
pill.
Get you some.
Get you some. It's also the people who want to ban birth control and Plan B that really grind my gears.
Mm-hmm.
Because, okay, you don't want me to get pregnant. You just don't want me to have sex because you think I'm a fucking hoe, okay? You don't want me to get pregnant, but then you don't want me to prevent pregnancy either before it even happens, because that's also killing it. Like, you just want me to reproduce. Like,
yeah, that's what they want. They're threatened. They're threatened. Oh, and you know what? I think it's about the economy too.
Yeah, because
if women aren't having babies, then it's gonna fuck up the economy. And
I already heard there's like a kind of a scare right now.
Yeah, with our generation.
With our generation not having enough kids, and like in Korea too. I think it's like they're not having kids and they're not as fertile and stuff.
Well,
so
maybe
they're like
if y'all
scared.
would relieve some of the debt we have.
Yeah, maybe if I didn't have to pay for childcare as much as I paid for rent in Los Angeles, maybe I'd be more apt to have a fucking kid.
Exactly.
But I can't afford it. Sue me if I still want to have sex with the man I love.
And not have a baby.
And not have a baby. I need that birth control. Like, come on.
Yeah.
And birth control is just, I mean, I take it for my endometriosis. Like, I don't even take it for pregnancy reasons. Like, you can't ban that.
It for like hormonal like balance.
You can't ban it. And it just goes to show you these men in politics don't know what the fuck they're talking about.
They're just stupid.
They really are. They don't even know how women's bodies work. Remember that one guy who said the woman's body just shuts down when they're starting to get raped?
Yeah, who said that?
Some fucking
I remember
old
that
man.
quote from a long time ago. If you guys remember, Todd Adkins from Missouri. Todd Aiken from Missouri in 2012. He's like, I don't know. He was doing some conservative conference or something, and he says that from what I understand from doctor, that it's really rare. If it's a legitimate rape, the female body has ways to try to shut down that whole thing. If it's a legitimate rape.
If it's a legitimate rape, the female body has a way of shutting down that whole thing. Okay.
Then he says, but let's assume that maybe that didn't work or something. I think there should be some punishment, but the punishment ought to be of the rapist and not attacking the child. But well, I don't know what this is in reference to.
Well, he's probably saying don't abort the child. Like,
yeah, but like, that's just crazy.
it's insane. Like, do you understand how dumb you sound?
Like, they just let these men like run around and say whatever the fuck they want. They really do.
Mm-hmm. They do. There's actually a girl on TikTok that goes to men and she interviews them about like women's bodies.
Oh, that's fun.
And she'll be like, can you pee with a tampon in? Like, it'll just be like
Oh, I've
random
seen
questions
those,
like
yeah.
that. And then the men are like, no, I
know.
don't think so. And then they're like, she's like, are you registered to vote? And they're like, yeah. And then she's like, it just proves the point that like these men have no fucking idea what they're talking about.
Yeah, like if you're gonna have an opinion on reproduction rights, you should at least know where the baby come out.
Does it come out of the pee-pee hole? Does it come out of
How
the
many
vagine?
holes do we have?
How many holes do we have, first of all? It's just crazy how these people are making these laws. Laws like that should be made by doctors.
Yeah.
Not politicians.
Yeah.
Because they don't know what the fuck
Absolutely.
is going on.
Well, let's talk about, the laws today in some, because you found a map that shows what are the current states' laws today. Well, we're not going to go through all 50, but
yeah. Well,
let's start with California since we're there.
California there's a gestational limit of fetal viability, which means the fetus can survive outside of the womb.
Okay. Vague though, because it should be like a certain amount of weeks.
Yeah, it's California, Washington, New York.
It makes sense to me, not to have an abortion if the baby could survive outside of the body. That makes sense to me. But when is that?
Yeah, so it's normally 23 or 24 weeks. So like at 6 months of pregnancy.
Okay.
So
I feel like that's fair. Like it gives you enough time
Yeah.
to yeah.
So so California is that. It's like the 6 month mark or whatever. And then there's some states that allow you to even after that mark, which goes up to 26 weeks.
Yeah. Well, see, there are certain, I don't know.
Yeah.
It's like if your baby, because sometimes the baby can have a deadly disease.
Yeah, or
and it's do you want the baby to suffer?
Yeah, or sometimes it's gonna kill the mother.
Yeah,
if it's born.
There are certain circumstances, but those, I think, when you're in that stage of pregnancy, the circumstances become rare and rare.
Yeah, it does. Yeah, and there's really no one's getting abortions that late. There's 1% of abortions that happen after 6 months. And even then, it's medically necessary normally because you're not going to carry a baby for 6 months and be like, nah, I changed my mind.
Yeah.
You're already almost there.
And by that time, you know that you're pregnant for the most part.
So after the fetal viability stage, it goes up to 26 weeks. And there are some states that allow that, which is Pennsylvania, Virginia, which is
that's surprising.
New Hampshire, Massachusetts, and Nevada.
Okay.
And then there's some states that have no restriction whatsoever. That's Alaska, which makes sense because they were one of the first ones to...
Yeah, I wonder if it's because of the indigenous communities.
Maybe.
It's
Alaska, Oregon, Colorado, New Mexico, Vermont, New Jersey, and D.C.
I think I read somewhere, too, that Colorado was one of the first states to allow abortion.
Well, that would make sense. They're the first to allow a lot of things.
I know. I'm like, should I move to Colorado?
I know. If it wasn't so freaking cold.
It's a beautiful state. It's not that bad. It's not as bad as where we're from.
Really?
Actually, I don't know how West Virginia is, but Indiana gets real cold.
Yeah. Well, so let me just tell you about our old stomping grounds.
Okay.
So there's a total abortion ban.
I bet Indiana's stronger. I bet they're the strongest. Because I remember Indiana being in the news for something.
Well, so there's a total abortion ban in Indiana and in West Virginia.
Oh, we're the ones.
Yeah. And in Texas, obviously. And all of the fucking southern states like Kentucky, Tennessee, Alabama, Mississippi, obviously. And then there's some that are just 6 weeks, which is only 2. There's South Carolina and Georgia, which is the 6 week mark. After that, you can't get an abortion. And like we said, some people don't even find out they're pregnant until 6 weeks.
Yeah, 6 weeks is really soon.
Yeah. And then there's some 4 other states that are 12 to 18 weeks.
Oh, yeah. So Indiana, I remember this now. I had to fact check myself, but Indiana was the first state in the nation to approve outlawing all abortions after Roe versus Wade.
Nice. And West Virginia, I think, was really soon after that, because I remember like it was pretty immediate where they were like, okay, well, this clinic is now shut down.
Yeah.
Like
That's crazy, because it's like I grew up and I don't feel like, it was that long ago where we just could.
Yeah. I mean, it wasn't that long ago.
Yeah. Well, I know it literally was. But like, you know what I mean? Like, it feels like
it's just always been a thing that was possible for us.
We really did grow up in a sweet spot.
Which
I gotta say.
I do need to say that we might have grown up in a sweet spot, but not all women get access to abortion, even when it is legal. Marginalized women, people without insurance. It's expensive.
Or they could be in rural communities where it's really far away.
People who can't afford it, poorer communities, and already does that when it's legal. Now that it's illegal, it makes it even more hard for those women. So basically the government's just telling you, like, screw you, stay poor.
Yeah.
Like you have no choice.
Yeah, like fuck you.
Yeah, stay poor.
Yeah.
So
you have to have a kid too, like on top of all that.
Yeah. So, but that brings me to so Tennessee, there's a total abortion ban, and there's this woman, Monica Kelly, who's actually suing the Tennessee government. She saw that women in Texas were filing lawsuits challenging the courts for the abortion stuff, and she decided to file one against Tennessee because she had to drive all the way to Florida to get an abortion because her baby had trisomy 13, which leads the brain to not split correctly, and it's associated with really severe complications, fetal deformities, and a lot of fetuses that get diagnosed with that do not make it to birth, like majority of them. So she was like, well, I want to get an abortion then because, first of all, I don't want to put my baby through that. Second of all, I don't want to go through that if I'm going to carry the baby full term and then it just dies.
Yeah.
Like, I might as well take care of it now. And she was just saying how it was like excruciating to drive.
How far along was she?
15 weeks. And she had to drive to Florida, and she said it was just really emotional.
15 weeks too. It's like so soon.
Yeah, super emotional, and she was just trying to do what's best for her baby. And, it was hard to even get one in Florida because they make you do a therapy appointment or something, and then they make you wait 24 hours to think about it, and then you come back and I guess you can get it. But she was like on the line of the cutoff, so it was really stressful for her. But yeah, she's filing a lawsuit against Tennessee, so I think a lot of women are doing that, and I think hopefully that
hopefully we have a new Roe versus Wade that comes out soon, and I think it all depends on who becomes president next.
Yeah. Well, that's the thing is, like, when Trump was in office, he made it a point to put pro-lifers into the Supreme Court.
So we're just like constantly going back and forth.
That was his goal, was to overturn Roe v. Wade. Yeah, he appointed those people in the court to overturn Roe v. Wade.
Ew.
So Brett Kavanaugh.
Brett Kavanaugh can like really fucking go crawl in a hole.
Literally.
And get
like,
stuck.
Just please.
Get stuck in the hole.
And then
head first. Suffocate. So what? Okay, in the news. Well, that was a news story that you gave, but another thing that's happening in the news is it gets kind of complicated. But basically, 2/3 of abortions today are administered via the abortion pill, and there's two parts to it. Usually, it's like they first take mifepristone, which blocks progesterone to end the pregnancy, and then they have to take misoprostol, which is the one that actually expels the pregnancy tissue. The problem is with the first one, mifepristone. A lot of people are trying to say that the original FDA approval of it is actually wrong because it wasn't researched well enough. And now they're trying to focus on the argument that it should have should not have been easier to access in 2016 and 2021. So I guess there were some things that happened during those years that made it like easier to access for people.
Mm-hmm.
But basically, it's like they're trying to find any and all like loophole ways of like trying to ban this pill.
Mm-hmm.
And you know what I think the real reason is because people are sending the pill over the mail to states where it's illegal.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah.
Yeah, I mean, that would make them mad.
Yeah, so they're trying to like nitpick around, but I don't think I think that this isn't going to happen like based on like the latest story about it, because it's literally just this week that they had like addressed it in court. And now the Supreme Court is thinking that the people that are the anti-abortion group that is like leading this motion, they may not have any legal standing in court at all.
Good.
Is what they're saying. But yeah, I don't know. That's just like what's going on. The simple thing is, I think that they're trying to ban the abortion pill because it's the easiest way to get abortions for people that are out of state.
Mm-hmm.
Like,
yeah, I mean, it's just a pill. You can, send it anywhere. Another thing that's happening is, and you said you didn't know about this, but they're trying to make it so that IVF is illegal. Because their thing is an embryo is a baby.
Well, what does that have to do with IVF?
Well, because you take the embryo and you start growing it and then you put it into the uterus. So embryos, I think what it has to do with it is they have to get the embryos and only certain ones survive. So like you get like 5 embryos and only one makes it. Yeah, so they may not make it all the way. So those 5 embryos that didn't make it are babies.
Oh, I actually have heard about this.
Yeah.
Yeah, I have heard about it. Well, I mean, I think that there's some argument where it's like, if you're okay with that, then why aren't you okay with abortion?
Yeah.
Then they're realizing like, oh.
Yeah, well, we need
well, maybe we shouldn't be okay with this.
I mean, this is happening, I think, mainly in Alabama. In February, this is recent, that frozen embryos created for IVF are people. But the argument I've seen is, oh, okay, so put a baby in a freezer and tell me what happens. Because embryos are kept in freezers.
Yeah.
Not the same thing. An embryo is not a fucking baby. And IVF, if they want people to be having all these kids, then some people need IVF to have those kids. So I don't understand.
I think this like goes even further with like stem cell research. Mm-hmm. The reason why people are saying like stem cell research is wrong. And it's just like, bro, like pipe down.
Yeah.
You know, you're getting like too a fucking, if you can't see it, like if you literally can't see it without a microscope, let's just stop.
Yeah.
Stop.
Yeah. And this IVF court ruling centered on whether a fertility clinic storing frozen embryos could be held liable under the state's Wrongful Death of a Minor Act.
Oh my God.
What? Yeah, the Alabama. Yeah, the Alabama. Oh, they ruled. The Alabama Supreme Court ruled that the embryos were people, and so the law could be applied.
That's crazy.
That's actually insane to me, but they're all idiots, so I'm not surprised.
Well, there's another thing going on in Texas.
Oh, tell us about it.
Well, I mean, actually, this one's kind of interesting because this is actually on the doctor's side because they want legal protections for if they are to administer abortions, how to not get sued.
Yeah.
Because basically the wording is kind of vague in the Texas law. I mean, basically in Texas, they're saying like if there's a medical emergency, then it's okay to have an abortion. But doctors are trying to ask for like more specific wording for that.
Okay.
Yeah. There's always going to be a loophole to the rule. And I think that at this point, doctors are probably still administering abortions there, like under the table or, not under the table. But I feel like there's probably some like stuff going on in Texas that's still allowing it.
Mm-hmm.
But they want protections and they just want it to be like more succinct, the wording of the law. Yeah. So it seems like they haven't come to a decision about it yet, but that's the other thing that's in the news.
Okay. Well,
yeah.
I think I just want to leave you with a few facts.
Let's hear it.
Nearly 1 in 4 women in America will have an abortion by the age of 45. 1 in 4. It's a lot. 85% of Americans believe abortion should be legal.
85?
85%.
That doesn't seem right.
That's what Planned Parenthood said.
That's crazy.
Basically, the whole thing is like, majority of us don't mind if abortion is legal.
I feel like this isn't something that men should have a vote on.
Well, they shouldn't unless they're doctors, I think. But
yeah, if you're a doctor.
Yeah, but you know an ectopic pregnancy is when the pregnancy implants itself in the fallopian tube and it doesn't make its way to the uterus. So you literally have a baby growing in your fallopian tube.
Ouch.
Which is insane.
Yeah.
And abortion is necessary at that point because it will literally kill the woman. And the baby won't survive anyway. So obviously, like, just please get rid of it. And men in politics don't understand what that is. And they think that that's also murder.
That's crazy. So they're like, it's okay if the mom dies, but
they just don't get it. They're like, well, it's still a baby. Like, they're so fucking stupid.
The woman's body has a way of
it just rejects it. It's fine. But I'm like, dude, like, listen to these doctors. Like, that's a medical emergency.
Yeah.
You know?
Like, come on.
Like, it's the most basic form of, like, everyone knows you can't have a baby through your fallopian tube.
That's crazy. It's a little tiny fallopian
Everyone
tube.
knows that. But they
like,
still think it's wrong.
If you just look at the diagram, you can tell. Like, just look at a picture.
Like, that's actually insane. And they think that it's still considered murder when that happens. It's like, I don't need these people making laws for my body.
Hopefully they all die off soon and then we don't have to worry about this.
I hope so, man.
Except for Bernie, he can
Bernie can
whatever
stay.
I don't know what he's doing right now, but he should still be in politics.
Dude, Bernie is trying to get a 4-day work week, baby.
But what is he doing? Damn, Bernie is 82.
Whew. Bernie needs to retire, dude.
He does, but actually, Bernie, he can stay.
No, he can definitely stay because, dude, he's trying to write a law to get a 4-day work week, and that's all
Bernie
I need to know.
Stay.
We love him.
In any case, guys, this is not about Bernie Sanders. This is about our reproductive rights, and we should have them. It shouldn't even be a question at this point. I don't know why we went back in 2022 and decided that, like, this law we had for 50 years was no longer a thing anymore. It's actually wild. I feel like living in California, it impacted us a lot less. I don't feel it that strongly. And I think it's because I know that, like, if worse comes to worse, it's going to be easy for me to get an abortion. But if I was in another state, like, if I was in Indiana, that's still kind of scary because, like, if worse comes to worse, I'm not ready to have a kid, like, right now, you know?
Yeah. And you'd have to travel and...
It'd be a whole fucking thing. You'd take days off work and, like...
Let's fight for our right...
To party. No, to not have children.
Have a choice.
That's right.
I'm not saying I
have a choice.
I don't want people to get abortions. I'm not pro.
Yeah,
I'm not like,
it's not like we're pro-abortion. We're
kill
just
babies.
saying. We're just saying, like, if worse comes to worse, it should be an option. You know?
If you don't agree with abortions, don't get one.
It's gonna take some time to realign.
You know what? I think it's just gonna take some time to realign.
But if you look inside, I'm sure you'll find. Over the shoulder, you know that I told you.
I'll always be picking you up when you're down.
So just turn around, Kavanaugh.
Just turn around.
Drake Bell didn't know that this song is actually about reproduction rights.
Yeah, he had no idea.
He
but
didn't know.
You know, that's just what it is.
It is what it is. Okay, let's get the fuck off of here.
Yeah.
Lovely talking to you guys for Women's Month.
If you have the extra cash this month, please donate it to your local Planned Parenthood or your local women's clinic.
Or
buy us a coffee. Or you could just buy us a coffee and, you know, we'll get
and then we'll have more money to give to the Planned Parenthood.
Right.
No, okay, that was selfish. You guys should give to Planned Parenthood. Like, yeah, we support reproduction rights.
Yeah.
But also we need microphones.
Also, just buy us a coffee at the same time.
Yeah. And it's, if
¿Por
you
qué
don't know
no
what
los
that
dos?
means.
¿Por qué no los dos?
¿Por qué no los dos? If you don't know what that means, it means go to the link in our bio on Instagram. It will take you to
say buy us a coffee.
Yeah.
And you can pay us $5.
It's just a fun way to donate to our fund to buy equipment.
Yeah.
So, yeah. Love you guys. So next
Awesome.
month, we're going to do religions.
Stay tuned for that. Follow
tuned.
us on Instagram. Thank you so much, pod. Email us. Write a review.
Cuckoo, cuckoo.
Yep.
Love you guys.
Love you.
Bye.
Bye.
Mwah.